Imagine a huge ship that sails on, but never reaches its destination. It is said that anyone who sees it will be cursed. Have you ever heard of the terrifying legend of the Flying Dutchman? What made this ship cursed to sail the endless ocean forever? And more importantly, is this story just a myth, or is there something darker behind it? Since the 17th century, many sailors have claimed to have seen this ghost ship in the midst of stormy seas. Imagine the fear they felt. Now let's find out the truth. The Flying Dutchman legend has two different versions, namely Captain Hendrik van der Dekken's version and Captain Bernard Fox's version. Let's start with Captain van der Dekken's version first. Captain Hendrik van der Dekken's version. Captain Hendrik van der Dekken was a Dutch sailor who lived in the 17th century. At that time, the Netherlands was one of the greatest maritime powers in the world, and sailing was a way to pursue wealth from distant lands. Hendrik van der Dekken was the captain of a merchant ship that often crossed routes known to be dangerous, especially around the Cape of Good Hope, South Africa. Van der Dekken was known as a firm, brave, and a little stubborn. He and his crew often crossed dangerous seas, faced with great storms and the threat of piracy. However, Captain Hendrik's ambition to complete his mission one day made him make a fatal decision that became the beginning of this terrible legend. According to legend, the curse began when Captain Hendrik decided to force his ship around the Cape of Good Hope in the midst of a great storm. His crew was already starting to panic, begging the captain to turn around or wait for better weather. However, Van der Dekken, who was known to be a stubborn man, refused. Full of pride, Hendrik is said to have shouted, "I will sail through this storm, even if I have to do it until the end of time." It is said that at that moment the curse fell upon his ship. God or some other supernatural force condemned the Flying Dutchman and its captain to forever sail the oceans without ever reaching land. Some versions of the legend say that Captain Hendrik encountered a mysterious figure in the midst of the storm. This figure could have been an angel, a demon, or a supernatural being who challenged him. In the confrontation, Van der Dekken refused to back down or repent. The mysterious figure then cursed him and his ship, leaving him trapped at sea for eternity. Since then, the Flying Dutchman has never been seen docking at any port again. Instead, it has only been seen sailing across the ocean, appearing and disappearing in the midst of great storms. Its crew are said to have become spirits trapped on the ship, never to die, but also never to come back to life. Over time, many sailors have claimed to have seen the Flying Dutchman in the middle of the ocean. One of the most famous sightings occurred in the 19th century, when an English sailor reported seeing the ghost ship near the Cape of Good Hope. The legend has become so popular that it is said that Prince George V of England once saw the Flying Dutchman when he was a young man. These sightings are believed to bring bad luck to those who see them, and are often followed by shipwrecks or mysterious disappearances. Captain Bernard Fox's version. Captain Bernard Fox was a real person, a Dutch sailor known for the incredible speed of his ships in completing the trade route from the Netherlands to Indonesia in the 17th century. Fox served the VOC, the Dutch East India Company, which was one of the most powerful companies in the world at the time. But what made Bernard Fox so famous, or rather feared, was the seemingly impossible speed of his ships. Some believe that Fox made the journey from the Netherlands to the East Indies in a much faster time than any other captain. How did he manage to do it? Rumors began to circulate that Fox had sold his soul to the devil. According to legend, Fox's incredible speed was unnatural. In an age where ships usually took months to complete the long journey, Fox and his ships were said to be able to complete the route in an impossibly fast time. This led people to suspect that Fox had supernatural assistance. Some stories say that Fox actually made a pact with the devil. In return, the devil gave him the ability to conquer the seas at incredible speeds. Fox's ship, with its sails full of wind even in the midst of a storm, became a symbol of this curse. In some versions of the legend, Fox was finally punished for his arrogance. It is said that after years of sailing at incredible speeds, the supernatural forces that accompanied him began to demand payment. Fox and his ship were cursed to forever sail the seas without ever reaching land. Captain Bernard Fock and his crew were no longer ordinary humans. They were now wandering spirits who continued to sail the seas, trapped in an eternal storm of their own creation. The Flying Dutchman became a symbol of the never-ending voyage. Like Captain van der Decken, many sailors reported seeing the Flying Dutchman on the high seas. However, those who claimed to have seen Bernard Fock stated that he still looked human, though his face was pale and his eyes radiated madness. These sightings usually occurred around the Cape of Good Hope and the Indian Ocean. Many sailors believed that seeing the Flying Dutchman was a bad omen. Some said that their own ships would befall disaster after the sighting, such as being lost at sea or having a tragic accident. Legends like the Flying Dutchman always leave questions about the unseen forces in this world. In the case of Captain Bernard Fock, his story is not just about a ship stuck at sea. It is a story about a man who fell because of ambition and arrogance, willing to make a deal with the devil in order to control the seas. However, like many other stories, deals with dark forces always end badly. Fock's story reminds us of the possible consequences when humans try too hard to conquer nature and go beyond its limits. Will we end up like him, trapped in a never-ending cycle of damnation? The legend of Captain Bernard Fock, like the version of Captain van der Decken, is one of the most terrifying stories in the world of sailing. Regardless of whether this story really happened or not, the Flying Dutchman will always be a symbol of the curse of the sea, excessive ambition, and the consequences of allying with dark forces. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if you want to hear more world legends. See you in the next video.